Hello and welcome into the Fantasy Six Pack Network. This is Best Ball After Dark with Bruni. I am your host, Justin Bruni. It is August 4th. We are 30 days away from the kickoff of the NFL 2024 season, and I am 40 entries away from maxing out Best Ball Mania 5. Very excited to be here and get after it with you guys. Switching over to an evening time slot, the Best Ball Degenerates. We're not getting up for best ball breakfast, so we're going to be taking it to the after hours streets where the best ball mania lobbies are moving fast. They're getting aggressive. I have to say the lobbies are getting a lot more competitive than they were just a few weeks ago before the start of NFL training camp. We are going to be talking about some risers, some fallers in ADP since the start of camp a week ago. So we're going to be talking about some key players, again, that are rising and falling in cost. Let's dive into the draft here. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and of course, subscribe to the Fantasy Six Pack Network. Let's see. I'm just going to jump into it on my phone first and then bring it up on the board here. I'll have my exposures up as well, so we'll be going over those. Hope everyone's doing well. We have some more preseason action coming up this week. We had the Hall of Fame game. That was fun until, of course, it wasn't, kind of a typical fashioned way to end a Hall of Fame game, with a rain delay, then a cancellation. They didn't cash my Bears money line. That was unfortunate. 6 more to start here. I'll get the board up now. Wondering if we're going to see any dips in Christian McCaffrey. I highly doubt it. You might see maybe him fall to 3 or 4, if they're talking about a calf strain. I don't think that's enough for me to move the needle. If he's up and I have him available anywhere 1 through 3, I'll most likely go ahead and continue to smash his name. Let's go ahead and share the screen here. There we go. Zoom in a little bit. Kind of hard to see there. See if we know anybody in the lobby. G-Men, not sure if that's G-Men J or not. Can't say I know anybody else. Fast Willie. That's a name I've seen in the streets. Purple People Eaters as well. I've also seen Purple People Eaters 73. That's not a name that you forget. That's just not a name that you forget. We are in the 11th spot here, so an interesting space. You have, some Puka Nacua shares that are falling out of that area. Maybe some Brandon Ayuk if someone's really feeling like he's going to go somewhere and his value is going to somehow be instantly increased if they pull him up the board. We'll see what falls to us here. I haven't really had anything too interesting at that ADP. It's typically like Marvin Harrison, Drake London, or at least before the Puka injury, it was Puka, Marvin Harrison, something like that. Any combination of the sort. Christian McCaffrey does go first. CMC follows immediately. Jamar Chase ahead of Tyreek Hill. A little bit different there. Tyreek Hill did sign a 3-year extension. Doesn't really do much for his value, but nice to know, for maybe some dynasty owners, hey, he's not going to retire after next year. That's nice. Monroe St. Brown at 6, Jefferson at 5. Again, business as usual. Breece Hall ahead of Bijan, not abnormal whatsoever. I'm assuming Bijan will go right here at pick 8. We might have to take some Jahmyr Gibbs. We just don't have any Jahmyr Gibbs, and we've got 40 drafts left to go. If A.J. Brown falls to me, though, I'd probably take A.J. Brown, but I'll take Jahmyr Gibbs over Puka. That's fine. Using my Mac to draft. Probably shouldn't do that. All that damn scrolling. If anyone in the chat knows how to scroll with a Mac laptop, you just shout it out. You just let me know. I always have to drag the screen around. It's really annoying. Next pick up here. Most likely a receiver, maybe Drake London if he falls. Deebo Samuel, get a little bit of a week 17 bring back there. Only have 8% of him. Nico Collins, I have 4% of, but it's just a more crowded offense. If Ayuk were to get moved, I got to think that Debo's ahead of these guys. Nico Collins, Puka here. 2-1 goes Saquon Barkley. It's ahead of ADP, but I don't hate that. You can certainly do that with any of these guys. Barkley, Taylor. I think I am going to take Jonathan Taylor with Jahmyr Gibbs, and we'll let some of these receivers kind of stack up here. I have 6% Puka, 7% London, 4% Collins, 8% Debo. Not really overweight on any of these guys, really. Really dividing it up here at the end of the first round, beginning of round 2. Very little Jalen Waddle, though. Only 2% of him. A ton of Devontae Adams. We have him at like 23, 21%. Getting in some more drafts. That shift from 100 to 110. We're dwindling down on our swings at Ball Mania 5. But it's how I did it last year, and it worked out very well for me. 25% hit rate on advancing, and about 44% if you take into consideration third and fourth place finishes as well. So consistently finishing at the top of the board. You got to do what you can to just move more and more shells from one pile to the next as you advance from the regular season, week 1, week 2, week 3 of playoffs. It's talk about a stressful time. Especially if you don't make the finals and you have that many teams advance. Ouch. We're not back up until 14 picks here. After our Taylor pick, what was it? We had Drake London, Puka Nacua, Deebo Samuel, Collins, Waddle, Olave, Cup. So strong run of receivers. Okay, I am going to either use my phone or my other computer to keep this pulled up here, because this zooming in and out is just not working out for me. So we'll just draft from the phone. All right, let's see. At pick 26, we've got a nice little fall for Devon Achane. Interesting. I like that. I've been saying that his price is little inflated, for just being on the Dolphins offense, a prolific offense, going to put up a lot of points. Wow, he continues to fall. We're at pick 28, pick 29. Very good value. Anyone that's going to scoop him up here. There he goes at pick, what is that, 20, Purple People Eaters. He knows what's up. What pick was that? 30, 29. And he didn't stack him with anybody. He had Justin Jefferson and Chris Olave. But a very good fall. A very good fall for the Purple People Eaters. 7 spots for Devon Achane is nothing to kick away, nothing to sniff at. We are up in 3 picks here. We might be looking for Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor stack, Mike Evans, certainly if he falls. Not taking Tank Tell as my first receiver here, but they are definitely getting aggressive on a receiver here at pick 35. So again, hoping for a Pittman fall. Pick ahead of me has not selected a running back yet, has 2 receivers. Pittman would probably be a good pick. They've got A.J. Brown in London. I would definitely do that. A.J. Brown, London, and Michael Pittman. That's easy for me. He passes. He takes Isaiah Pacheco. We are going to take Michael Pittman. Not the best guy to start your wide receiver stable with, but definitely a smidge after ADP. Good way to start. We're definitely going to be able to get some wide receiver value back here in some of the mid rounds. We're coming up on pick 4, and we're going to be looking at our second receiver, probably George Pickens. Let's see. The turn goes ETN paired up with Barkley. Got to imagine he goes receiver here with Harrison. Maybe he goes Pickens. He does not. He goes quarterback. Interesting. Allen, Barkley, ETN, Harrison, a 1-2-1 start. Interesting. I am going to have a 0-2-2 start, and we are going to go George Pickens here. Very easy click for me. George Pickens over Tank Dell. I mean, honestly, a lot of these guys, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, all easy clicks for me ahead of Tank Dell, but pulling him up in ADP a little bit, not concerned about that at all. Pickens, pick 38, ADP 39, or right on time. Right on time. Let's see. See what the guys around me are doing. Wow, this guy took. He's got Mahomes, Pacheco stack, okay. And then Brown and London, interesting. And then Kahuna had the other was, yeah, that weird 1-2-1 build or start, I should say. Interesting. Okay. Shouldn't have to worry about quarterback at least a little bit. You know, that should leave some pressure with those guys. You know what? I'm just going to put up this board and give this to you guys. Let's go over some key risers or fallers, see if there's anybody that I missed so far. Definitely not on the faller side of things, but let me check the risers. None of the fallers' names have come up. None of the risers either. So key risers in the past week, Justin Fields, of course, getting a ton of love, a ton of positive camp talk, you know, saying that it's a tighter race than they once thought. It looks like Fields is a live candidate to be a starter, you know, week 1 of the NFL season. Going to be very interesting. I have about 3 and 4% of both of Wilson and Fields at the end of my draft, so not a lot of exposure to either, but a little bit of sprinkle of both. So interested to see how that plays out. I'm okay buying them at an advanced cost because it's still pick 192. You know, you're looking at round 17, maybe round 16 at the most. So I don't think that's a huge adjustment if you really are or really have a ton of conviction that he's going to be the starter for the majority of the season. Like if you're in, then by all means, go ahead. You know, he's a great little piece to add in as your third quarterback, paired up with some late round stacks, maybe like a Freiermuth, a Roman Wilson. You know, if you really want to get crazy and toss in a Van Jefferson, or, you know, if you somehow have Ayuk and you want to get a Fields, you know, bring back if you think that Ayuk is going to be on the Steelers, you know, get weird with it. Have fun. Next up was Chase Brown. He's up 11 spots. Just getting, again, positive camp talk. Everybody thought it was going to be Zach Moss. Brown's the guy that's getting all the buzz, whether it's the beat reporters, the coaching staff. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a I told you so scenario, because I didn't. I just said take the guy at value. Chase Brown was the guy at value, and now the value is completely swapped as to what it was. So, you know, you kind of lose, you know, that advantage if you were drafting early and you were in favor of Zach Moss. You can continue to draft him more now, you know, but you're not getting as clear of a picture that he would be the guy. So I'm okay again drafting Chase Brown at his advanced cost. It's maybe 1 round more at most, and again, you have that confidence that he's going to be a priority for them. Still think they're both gonna work in a tandem regardless, but there is always that one guy that has the edge on high value touches, and it's potentially sounding like Chase Brown, second year in the offense. I think that's definitely what's helping out a lot. Catching up with this last round, we had Mark Andrews, Terry McLaurin, Rashi Rice going pick 51. That's a big jump. Dalton Kincaid, Richardson, Keenan Allen, CJ Stroud, Josh Jacobs, Kyle Pitts. Next person is up, and then I am up. So far, we've got Gibbs, Taylor, Michael Pittman, George Pickens. Let's see what we're looking at here. Do Hollywood Brown. Could do more Calvin Ridley. And go with James Cook. Tough. I really like all these receivers here. I have a lot of Brown. I have a lot of Ridley. I have a lot of Godwin. I'll take some more Hollywood Brown. That works for me. I have a lot more Ridley than I do Hollywood Brown. So just kind of keeping that simple. I am going to go back to receiver here. So it's going to be, I don't think this Kahuna guy, or what is that how you say it? Yeah, I don't think Kahuna's letting me have Calvin Ridley. Wow. Third running back, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, ETN, Rashad White, Marvin Harrison. That's wild. That's crazy. And then he goes Calvin Ridley. Son of a gun. Let's go Chris Godwin. Easy peasy. So we're looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, George Pickens, Hollywood Brown, Chris Godwin. I like that. No buy conflicts so far in any of the rooms. So that's nice. After my pick went Xavier Worthy. Let's see if we can't catch any falls here before we go over any more risers. We're at pick 65. Jaden Reed is still on the board. His ADP is 58. That's interesting. A little fall for Jaden Reed, one of the better performing receivers for the Packers last year. You'd think he'd get a vote of confidence, but nope, continues to fall again. We're at 66. They just split the touches up so evenly there in Wisconsin, in Green Bay. He does go at pick 66, about 8 spots after ADP. We've got George Kittle next up. He's a couple of spots after ADP right now. Let's see what Fast Willie wants to do. Could also take Rome Odunze right on time. Stack him up with Keenan Allen, who we took in round 5. Don't hate that. Don't love it, but don't hate it. I prefer, if you're going to double up on the same team, he does take George Kittle. You're doing it with either like 2 late round picks or it's 1 early receiver and 1 late receiver. I don't like to double up in the middle. Unless you consider Eckler and Robinson doubling up in the middle, I still consider it closer to the late rounds. It's like round 10, round 11, round 12 if you get a good fall. See who's in the chat here. Oh, hey, look at that guy, Andrew Robb. Never heard of him. Picking your normal guys. Unreal. Are they my normal guys? Jahmyr Gibbs, not. So a little bit of the sarcasm there. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman's a favorite. Pickens, Hollywood, and Godwin are, they're pretty on brand. They're pretty on brand. That is true. But hey, that's what you got to do when you're mixing it up with somebody that you don't like me, with Jahmyr Gibbs. It's not that I don't like Jahmyr Gibbs. I love the player. Just, again, the ADP, taking him over Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, even Kyron, just guys that have less competition than a David Montgomery. Like, the presence of their backup running backs is just simply not as strong, or they're so good that they, overcompensate for the need for that team to, reward an RB2 with more touches or more opportunities. The Lions, they're just going to split it right down the middle. You'll have drives full of Montgomery. You'll have drives full of Gibbs. You'll have drives mixing and matching both of them. You're never going to know one drive to the next, which is great for them for football. It's fantastic. But for us, for drafting, best ball is definitely the format to have those guys on your roster, not having to worry about, do I start them this week, not start them this week? Who's going to get the touchdowns? Who's going to get the catches? David Montgomery can catch the ball in the backfield. Don't be fooled just because Jahmyr Gibbs is that much better at it. David Montgomery can catch the ball back there. So best ball, definitely the way to get these guys. The big difference is David Montgomery goes in round 6, round 7, and Jahmyr Gibbs, if you're lucky, you might get him the first couple of picks of round 2, which very rarely, and at least in my experience, happens. I've seen it happen. Haven't had the opportunity to get him in that spot. Would do it if I could. I don't get it. I just as easily take Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley at the 1-2 turn. Just easy picks for me. You don't have to. Both of those picks are well ahead of ADP, but I just feel way more comfortable doing that than taking Jahmyr Gibbs at that ADP at like pick 12, pick 11 for a running back that's going to split work. All right, we are up in 3 picks here this round when Alvin Kamara, Ladd McConkey, DeAndre Hopkins, who is a significant faller since his injury posting, Ramondre Stevenson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Brian Thomas, Keon Coleman, Jonathan Brooks. Somehow Jonathan Brooks just cannot fall. He's in round 7. I'm pretty sure that was ahead of ADP because he's typically a round 8 click. Yeah, he went 11 picks ahead of ADP. Wow. CA96585. Wow. My goodness. That's that person's Underdog handle. Says a lot. It says a lot about you. Just saying. We're looking at some quality running backs here, but I think we are going to go Jamison Williams. Mostly just to kind of block out this Kahuna guy. Why give him JMO? This guy needs JMO. He's only got Marvin Harrison, Calvin Ridley. Now his third wide receiver is Jordan Addison. Ick. I'm so old. I remember when Jordan Addison would go 10, 15, 18 picks after ADP. Now he's going a pick ahead of ADP. Ouch. Life moves fast. So does ADP. Might move faster. We're gonna dip back into receiver here. We're gonna go with Curtis Samuel. Just really load up. We'll have Pittman, Pickens, Brown, Godwin, JMO, and Curtis Samuel. Yeah. I mean, it's just amongst a good pool of running backs, some who I think will fall, and we're really just drowning out the receiver position. Like most of these teams have, what we're up 5, right? No, we're at 6. Excuse me, 6. And most teams around me, 3, 3, 3 after me. Let's see, this team 3. Kahuna only has 3. So we're really just kind of tapping into the availability for the teams around us. That's a team with 3. They were ahead. Yeah, a lot of these teams have not really dug into receiver deeply, we'll say. So that makes me feel good. That makes me feel advantageous. This guy's at a 1-6, 1 running back, 6 receivers. His receivers, Lamb, Ayuk, Moore, Higgins, pretty good. McLaurin, McConkey, might be better than mine. I think that's safe to say. In totality, those are better than mine. But I've got those dope running backs. Ha ha! Sort of dope. Jahmyr Gibbs, sort of dope. All right. After Curtis Samuel, we went 4 straight running backs. Zamir White, James Conner, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, David Njoku, Javonte Williams, and Njoku, obviously tight end, sprinkling into that mix. I think we're going to be looking at a tight end on our way back here, potentially. Maybe a Bowers if he falls to us. I don't know if that's going to be possible. We'll see. Pat Freiermuth in round 8, right after Jalen Warren. Just all sorts of running backs going in this range here. Not a single receiver in sight from pick 87 to 96. And we are on 96 right now. Let's see what the turn does. I mean, they have to take running backs here. He also takes a running back because these are the best clicks right now. And I don't mind going 0 RB and then being able to pick up some of these guys, but I still feel like the run of receiver that I had there after those 2 running backs, very adequate with what the rest of the draft is doing. Like I said, there's only one other team in here that went up to 6 receivers. Brock Bowers does go, but does push the no receiver run to pick 98. We've gone 10 straight picks. Can we go 11? Big bucks. No whammies. It's an auto pick. It's going to be a running back auto pick. 3. That's a running back. It wasn't an auto pick, though. We're up to 11. Cortland Sutton. He's right there waiting for you. Devin Singletary. Still no receivers. That's wild to me. That's such a huge run. You just don't see that. That's so interesting. Bone collector, whatever. Keeps it going. Pick 100. We're at 101. Last receiver picked at pick 86. Wow. Just an Owen Wilson moment. Wow. Tyler Lockett. There it is. Bazinga. I can't reach any of my flags. Otherwise, I'd throw a flag at the camera. Gosh, anything can happen now. Raheem Mostert, pick 102. I think that's a bit of a fall for him, no? Raheem Mostert. Yeah, he fell 10 picks, and a receiver didn't go in that range. That's crazy. Like I said, the streets, they're getting fast. They're getting wild. The winds, they are a-changing in the best ball streets, in the best ball neighborhoods. It's getting windy. It's changing directions. All sorts of weird stuff is happening every draft. Overall, like I said, I feel like the lobbies are more competitive. Drafters are sharper. They're pulling quarterbacks up. They're not afraid to pull up more players ahead of ADP. Quarterback, like probably the most consistent position I've seen it with, but people just not scared of making their stands and again, just not sticking to ADP and making crazy moves. When that happens, I catch all that ADP in the wind. All right. Give me the value. Give me the falls. We are up here in one more pick. Rashid Shaheed goes ahead of me. He has been a big faller. I believe he's been missing some practice. Man, I'm going to take another receiver. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Give me Josh Palmer. Give me more of my guys, as Andrew said. Just to mess with Kahuna, who only has three receivers by round 10 here. Well, end around 9. He's the last pick around 9 right now. He does take a receiver. Great Scott. Romeo Dubes. The Dubinator. I'm going to try and grab Tony Pollard here probably. Nope. Don't want to do that. Maybe Brian Robinson. Nope. Nope. We're going Tony Pollard. I don't love it because of the bye situation, but we're not going to reach past those 3 running backs. Like Robinson and Pollard are solid at that ADP. In fact, Pollard fell 9 picks. Awesome. That's great. Him and Gibbs do both have a week 5 bye, but I've been saying it all best ball summer. If you're going to double down on buys, hey, make it week 5. You got a long way to go after that. That's certainly enough time to make it up for any lost ground that you may have from, buy NATOs or, bad buy builds, if you will. So now we're looking at Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Michael Pittman, George Pickens, Hollywood Brown, Chris Godwin, Jameson Williams, Curtis Samuel, Joshua, James, Palmer. After my Pollard pick, we had Khalil Shakir, Brian Robinson Jr., Trey Benson, Brandon Cooks go. Brandon Cooks, still a great round 10 pick. Absolutely love it. Who is another? Deontay Johnson, into round 6. He's up to pick 68. Another guy I've been saying all summer that's going to go up. He's been a huge riser. Let's get back to some of the rises and falls. So we had, like I mentioned, Fields, Chase Brown, Andre Losivas, also with the Bengals. He rose about a round of total stock. Pretty much from round 18 to round 17 are not drafted to being drafted. So that's interesting. People giving a little bit more love to the late season darling in 2023. Jalen McMillan, also a big riser. He's up 10 spots, nearly a round. Same as Bucky Irving, another late round Tampa Bay Buccaneer draft target. Irving up 6.8 spots, so a little bit over half of a round, roughly half of a round more expensive. Jalen McMillan, he's up 10 spots, so nearly a round as well. I think people just easily seeing a formidable or identifiable late round stack. Otten goes in that range, Baker goes in that range. If you get creative and you're bringing some ADP up the board, you could get all 4 of them. You could get a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, QB, running back, receiver, tight end, late round stack there with the Bucks. So that is interesting as well. J.K. Dobbins, he's up 10 spots. He's up nearly a full round. Again, just getting that camp buzz, getting that hype. While he is up, Kamani Vidal is down. He is a key player that's down. Another Charger that's down is Quentin Johnston. He's down 11.7 spots, and Kamani Vidal is down 11.6 spots. Both of them around cheaper, around more affordable. I'm still buying them. Like Kamani Vidal has still been getting a ton of camp buzz, rookie camp buzz, mini camp buzz. There's been a lot of positive things said about him up until this point where you've had some veteran guys come in and maybe they've looked better in training camp, but I'm still buying into the asset that they've gone out and required, that they've scouted. He was a great prospect coming into the league. I believe second in FCS in total rushing yards last year in 2023. Still a lot of upside for him. Quentin Johnston's, he's dropping some balls, BFD. If you're going to give me him a round cheaper, he's still going to be drafted at 100%. He's still going to be on every Best Ball Mania roster, right? He's going to be in every lobby no matter what. He's not going to go undrafted. So if you're going to get him a round later. I've got him 18 picks later, 30 picks later. There was one night I had Kamani Vidal 20-plus picks after ADP and Quentin Johnston 25-plus picks past ADP and 15 picks after ADP for Herbert. It was just complete disrespect to the Chargers in that draft. I'm buying disrespect. I'm buying dips. If you see me in the streets, don't tread on me. I'm buying the lows, buying the discounts. All right, we are at a 0.370 build. We've got Jared Goff up on deck here. I think that's going to be the pick as long as he falls to us. We've got Gibbs. We've got JMO. His ADP is 125. We're getting him at 131. A nice little bump in a fall there. We're now going to look to get a running back here, maybe a forward. Really don't like Nick Chubb here as my fourth. I would prefer Eckler, even if I have 27% Eckler. I just don't trust Nick Chubb to be as reliable as my number 4 guy. Down the stretch, I would prefer for him to be like my 5 or 6. So kind of tough there. TJ Hawkinson goes 2 picks ahead of me. Let's see what we get here. Give me Jerome Ford. I will get Jerome Ford. Nice. The guy ahead of me had to take Jerry Jeudy. His receivers, let's see how they're looking. I don't love this group. Marvin Harrison, Calvin Ridley, Jordan Addison, Romeo Dubes, Xavier Legette, Jerry Jeudy. Ick. Oh, but hey, guys, he's got Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. So, it's what? That's not right. Let's see. Justin Herbert goes ahead of ADP. I just got done saying about how he's been falling since there's news that he he has like a mild case of plantar fasciitis. Plantar fasciitis, nothing to mess around with. Sold shoes at one time, had to learn all about plantar fasciitis. How you got to get the Birkenstocks. Those are like best friends to someone, with plantar fasciitis. So when I've heard this news about Justin Herbert, all I could think about him, is walking around California in some Birkenstocks, trying to get ready, trying to get this foot all set so he's ready to go week 1 of the NFL season. I think he's going to be all good. I'm not overly concerned. I know the team went out and got Luis Perez, I think from like the UFL or the XFL or I don't know, some spring football advocate experience league. I have no idea. So that's interesting. Doesn't move the needle for me whatsoever. I still believe in Herbert. I think he's going to be just fine. And they have the run game to lean on regardless. I mean, it was always going to be about building up the offensive line, building the run game, using that to protect Herbert, keeping him upright because he does keep taking bad hits. He does keep getting hurt. Nothing crazy, nothing major, but, enough to, end the season last year, enough for us to get too much Easton stick in our lives. You know what I mean? That's not cool. So I think they're just more playing it safe. I think he's going to be fine, and I'll continue to buy any dips from J Herb. So after the Herbert pick, we had Rico Dowdle, Mike Williams, Nick Chubb went pick 138, Ty Chandler, Marshawn Lloyd, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney. Like that run of players there. I mean, again, if I already had, maybe 4 running backs, I would consider Nick Chubb. Again, just too risky, not having a clear enough picture this close to the start of the NFL season. In May, several months ago or even early June, I think by now I would have expected just better information, more knowledge as to this situation and what it was going to look like. We still have nothing. So, I'm all about getting him on my roster, just immense value. That's where I want him at, immense value. But great run there. Like I said, Nick Chubb, Ty Chandler, he's a good value. Marshawn Lloyd, couple of week 17 correlation running backs there playing in a dome in Minnesota there. Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney, love those clicks. Great round 12, round 13. Even if I had to click them in round 11, I feel better than clicking those names other than Adonai Mitchell. It's just you don't know what you're going to get in that offense. Josh Downs, same thing. Literally another Colts receiver going right next to him. Jacoby Myers, I like. That's a good round 11, round 12 pick. Jalen Polk, I'd still take Davis, Mooney over those guys. You have experience. You have good offenses. You have good quarterbacks and systems that are going to focus on passing the ball. Like the Jags passed the ball a lot last season. The Falcons are going to do exactly the same. The Falcons are just a good funnel offense, right? Like they should be ready. They should be better. They should be improved. It should be more efficient. So I feel like the rise of tides, raises all boats in that situation. Cole Kmet, also another good round 12 pick. Austin Eckler, same thing. Just really, really good value here in that stretch. I'll let you know when it kind of dies off for me. Like Jayon Dotson, Luke Musgrave, good picks. Rashad Bateman, not great as of late. I think he came up with maybe a stinger or small type of low-grade injury in the last day. Jaleel McLaughlin, JMC, one love JMC. Jalen Wright, Deshaun Watson, Ricky Pearsall, Kirk Cousins. This is kind of a fall off here. Kirk Cousins, you're not in trouble, but you're not in a great situation if he's your first quarterback. You're in a very bad situation if your first quarterback is Deshaun Watson. You are clicking purple, in the next several rounds here. Demario Douglas, J.K. Dobbins. Looks like I am on the clock. Caught monologuing. Your pick, 22 seconds. We do this. We might want a tight end. I think we're going to be going Hunter Henry here. We don't need. You know what? Screw it. Let's just get Chuba Hubbard. And Chuba, we trust. We get our 5th running back. We are now at a 1-5-7 build. So we're definitely cleaning up with, tight end and quarterback here. We're not going to be needing to focus so much on receiver and running back. Our running back room is Gibbs, Taylor, Pollard, Ford, Chuba. Love that. Quarterback again was Jared Goff. And then receivers, we have Pittman, Pickens, Brown, Godwin, Williams, Samuel, and Palmer. Let's see what we want to do here. I could even go Matthew Stafford, and then I could just late stack Colby Parkinson. I could do Hunter Henry here, and I could go May. I could do Dulcich and Bo. Adam Thielen goes off the board. What do we want to do here? I mean, Stafford is not a bad RB2, but let me take a look. I'm not going to be able to check my exposure in time. I want to see who I had more of, Rodgers or Stafford. I want to say that it's Rodgers. So we'll go Matthew Stafford. We'll see if we can get a Parkinson late round stack. And we probably should go 3rd QB. So maybe we get like a Baker Otten fall if we can. There's always Bryce Young, Jatavian Sanders. That's always an easy click in the later rounds. I do have Chuba, so that's a healthy bring back there. I just have so many Panthers stack. They're just free. They're just available back there. It's an easy grouping pick, if you want to get a late round build. Even if you believe in some of these other guys like, a Terrace Marshall or a Jonathan Mingo somehow, these guys are going to have, 2, 3, 4, somehow 4 spike weeks. If you're in that camp or in that belief, like, oh, dang, forgot about those guys. Easy. Round 18 clicks. Mescusi. Let's see here. Stafford, Henry, Rodgers, Baker did go. So, yeah, I mean, that was kind of a folly, hoping one of those QBs would get back to us. I saw Aaron Rodgers fall like almost 30, I think it was 27 picks. 27 picks he fell the other night. You're just seeing a lot of weird falls in all sorts of different directions. It's been wild. Other key fallers, Keandre Miller, been the biggest loser all best ball summer long. Also the biggest loser, 21 spots in the last week. Roman Wilson, again, to be expected. Minor injury, should be back soon. I mentioned Johnston, Vidal buying those dips. Troy Franklin, Jermaine Burton, a couple of rookies getting some knocks down the board as well. Elijah Mitchell, he came up lame today with a hamstring injury. That's not great. But even across the last week, he was down 7.5 spots. So that's interesting. Darius Slayton, he tweaked something in training camp as well. So his stock is down a little bit. Drake May, he's going down, obviously getting, a clear notion that Brissett may in fact just be the de facto starter. So May lose a little bit of value there, but I think we all expect that when May needs to fill in as your 3rd quarterback drafted, it's on a bye week. It's at least week 5 or later, and there's still a very practical narrative that puts him as the Patriots starter by week 5. Everything can just be that bad, believe me. With the Patriots, since Tom Brady leaving, it can get that bad. It can literally go from like Julian Edelman getting 175 receiving yards with Cam Newton as his quarterback, and then he doesn't have more than 40 receiving yards for 10 straight weeks. So you can't write this stuff. All right, starting this round, we do get some fallers there. We get Jermaine Burton. We get Kamani Vidal. We get Keandre Miller. Jalen McMillan, who has been a riser, so he's up to round 15 now. Interesting. Let's see, we are at round 15, pick 173. I'm up at 179. We need tight ends, and we need another quarterback. Let's take a look at the board. Try to plan this out. We could get in some Will Levis here. He does have a week 5 bye, same as Jared Goff. I want to kind of avoid that. I already double dipped Gibbs and Pollard. I'm not into it. I'm not into continuing to do that. Double bye week stack. Not too interested in Otten. Isaiah Likely, been getting some talk, been getting some love. being considered as potentially the second best receiver or target after Mark Andrews. Wow, that would be wild. That would be crazy. Kate Otten might just be the pick here, just because I don't want the Baker guy to let it. Like I would assume the Baker team would have taken him there at 176. Instead, he took Wan'Dale Robinson, which I believe is criminally ahead of ADP. I think my app is frozen. I'm on the clock. There we go. Your pick. Yeah, we're just gonna go Kate Otten here. I hope it took Kate Otten. Jesus. It took him off the board. Wow. Okay. All right. There he is. He's there. Let's close the app and open it back up. Talk about a close one. And this guy took Greg Dulcich. Wow. Also, the app been getting kind of glitchy like that. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I've been having some of those URL errors load every now and again. Yeah, let's go likely here. No stack, just talk, just buying all that talk. And then we are going into, so that was pick 16. We have 2 picks left. And yeah, we'll probably try to do like a, we could do Bryce Young, Jatavian Sanders. I think that's a really good stack in this scenario with just Kate Otten and Isaiah Likely drafted. I mean, the running backs and receivers are great, but yeah, quarterback and tight end, not to be desirable. I mean, Goff and Stafford, I think, are just fine. Got that Detroit Rams trade connection there. Love it, love it, love it. I think that's fine, but I would feel a lot more comfortable with another QB. So let's see what else we can do. We'll have, Bryce Young. I could do Bo Nix and Dulcich. I could do Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew with Michael Mayer. I feel like that's less than. I feel like we can do better. Let's see. Could do Dan Jones and Theo Johnson. Again, I just think that's less than Bryce Young and Sanders. And Bo Nix and Dulcich may not be better. Oh, Dulcich went already. I forgot this guy on my turn took him ahead of ADP. How far ahead did he take him? Wow. Okay. Pick 180, ADP 211. Just weird stuff going on, man. Just weird stuff. Oh, well, he has Audric Estime also at pick 181. What? Why? Justin Fields goes in round 16. Our tight end QB stacking options are dwindling here. We still have Young and Sanders. We can still get Parkinson in with Stafford. That might be the play. You know what? We could actually, we could just double tap tight end here. We could just go with Stafford and Goff. It's not a playbook approach here. 2, 5, 7, 4. They're not great tight ends. I mean, there's Kate Otten, Isaiah Likely, and then take your combination of whatever, Chigakonkwo, Mike Gesicki, Parkinson, Theo Johnson, Knox, Zach Ertz, Jatavian Sanders. I mean, does it really matter? I think that's what I'm going to do. Screw it. Parkinson will be one of them. So we'll do Parkinson. And then maybe Chig. Yeah, maybe get him stacked with Pollard. Who else? Parkinson. I don't know. I guess one of the fallers between Okonkwo and Gesicki, just whichever one falls, keep it easy. I'm imagining one of them will. Probably Chig would be the pick, I would say, just because we have Pollard. We're going 2, 5, 7, 4. Let's go. Let's get weird with it. I wonder if Kahuna is watching and he's going to take Parkinson from me. That would make me a little upset, but I mean, any of these other names back here. I'll just take Sanders, whatever. I don't, I have Chuba, so I got a skinny stack there. What do I care? This is definitely a draft held up by running back and receiver. Hands down. 2 picks away. Come on now. Give us that Chig. Give us that Chig Okonkwo now. 7 picks after ADP. Let's get it going here now. Chig. Don't do it, Mapper. 1, 2, 3. Stupid name. Hillbilly. Sorry, that was inappropriate. White trash. Wedding crashers. Raised on it. Sorry, guys. Chig does fall. Let's see if Park. Oh, he took Gesicki. I wonder if he takes another tight end. He's playing with us. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Mapper took a tight end. I then took a tight end, and Kahuna now gets to potentially take 2 tight ends. Will he also do 2, 5, 7, 4? He does AJ Dillon. 2, 6, 7, 2. Oh my gosh, does he do 2, 6, 8, 2 with TJ Hawkinson and Greg Dulcich? Ick. That's not going to work out. That's going to be not fun. Take another tight end, buddy. I almost want you to. Yeah, there you go. Who do you take? Theo Johnson. There you go. All right, cool. And we're going Colby. So our tight ends, we got 2, 5, 7, 4. We've got Cade Otton, Isaiah Likely, Chig Okonkwo, and Colby Parkinson. Darts. We're playing darts. Let's go. Again, it's not by the book. It's not how they teach it in the best ball school. But screw it. I went 0 tight end until the last four picks and went Cade Otton, Likely, Chig, and Parkinson. Come on. You've done that before, right? Viewer at home, you've done it. And if you haven't, now you know that you want to go and try it because that was fun. That was easy. We'll go through the roster here and won't do it on that screen. Let's see if we have any surprises in the round 18. Wow, Braylon Allen going in round 18. He's been going a lot earlier, and he's been getting good news. That's very interesting. Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, very consistent round 18 picks. Dame Pierce, I think that's a little bit of a fall because he's been definitely picked outside of round 18. That's very interesting. Let's see, pick 211 here, coming down the stretch. Pierre Strong Jr. Wow. Really digging in there fast, Willie. Really digging in. Really trying to get unique. Do not see a lot of Pierre Strong Jr. drafted. Dylan Lobb. I see Dylan Lobb as a round 18 click. He's a name that comes off the board. So, okay. Hopefully you have some connectors there. Bone collector. We got Siran 42. Siran actually sounds kind of familiar. Let's go, Siran. 7, 6. I entered my queue. It's fine. Q, bro. Drafting Bo. Q, bro. Bo Nix, bro. Jamal Williams, another interesting one. Someone that's not always drafted. And then that was it because I don't think it's going to show me the last pick on this board. Super duper. Let's take a look here at the old roster. Let's see what we did. Hey, make your pick so we can get projections. I don't think my team's going to have a great projection. That's just me, though. Let's see. Auto pick the last pick, of course. 2,800. Okay, from the top, we've got Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. Not great. Could be better, but not terrible. It's not, Bryce Young, Derek Carr, Gardner Minshew. That would be worse. Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't do it. Don't do it very often. We did it. Planted our flag here with our one share of Jahmyr Gibbs. Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard. Good, balanced, not too expensive. We really went in there with Gibbs and Taylor with an anchor RB approach. And then we have Michael Pittman Jr., double anchor RB, Michael Pittman Jr. and George Pickens and Hollywood Brown to lead off the receivers. Again, not great, but not bad. Chris Godwin, J-Mo Williams, Curtis Samuel, Joshua Palmer. Like all of these, we got a nice fall for Palmer. Everybody else went just right about at ADP. So getting Palmer was at 8 picks after ADP as our seventh receiver. Not bad. And then tight ends, all in with our last 4 picks. Kate Otten, Isaiah Likely, Chiga Okonkwo, Coley Parkinson. Do as I say, not as I do. It's not recommended, but if you want to have some fun, get weird with it, go draft your 4 tight ends, all right? Really appreciate everybody following along this evening. We are, again, 30 days away from the kickoff of the NFL season. I am 39 now, 39 Best Ball Mania 5 entries away from maxing out this competition. Very excited to continue to dig in with you guys this offseason. We're going to have a lot more movement in the next week. Another week of training camp. Week 1 of preseason, going to be tons and tons of action. Very excited to check back in with you guys next week and see how the league has shaken up once again in ADP. Look out for another risers and fallers conversation next Tuesday, 10 p.m., Best Ball After Dark. Take care, be well, be good. If you can't be good at it. I'll see you.